Pardon?
Can we use the same one that we have?
Yes. I looked at it this afternoon. You've got, coming out of the camera here, you've got an audio and a video feed that goes into there. Now, the audio feed we would have to tie in, and I was talking to Diane about that this afternoon. You want the audio from all these. Now, I'm just looking at what you've got. You're running the audio feed off this camera. So the audio feed goes into here as well as the video feed, and then goes to the box over here, which then goes to the Cablevision company. And what we'd have to do is just run the audio feed from the mixer to this. I wouldn't advise running the sound off the camera as well. If you've got a mic on the podium, it's going to pick up the ambient sound, which is room noise, you know, background noise, and you should get enough background noise from just the microphone on there, and your mics will come through. So it'll be a lot cleaner sound. A problem you have with a microphone on the camera is that it picks up the close sounds, and I'm sure you can tell them, you know, like if you have to cough, you have to turn away, but it's just not picking up a good enough sound of everybody speaking, because you'd almost have to be within 2 to 3 feet of this to get a really good audio sound.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Motion to accept Kennett City.
Motion?
I'll second it.
Second.
I'll go get the computer. I'm going to give it to somebody else out of town.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous carries.
Commercial or residential, was that? Commercial or Oh, okay.
This is new business, but there's been some prior discussion probably about doing rental inspections.
Residential or commercial or both? Residential.
Is this something that's been brought forward with the landlords committee, or whatever they call it?
Not really. It has come from the articles that have been in the paper, and we've gotten several phone calls from people that are asking for supervision of some of the housing in Kennett that's substandard.
Well, a lot of communities do have those ordinances in effect for the property maintenance or code enforcement. When a site changes hands or changes tenant, then it gets inspected.
Malden has one, and that was kind of what Victor has gotten information from, and then he also had talked to the code enforcement person in Butler, Missouri. And it's not a list to make sure that they have high quality carpeting or anything like that. It's just your basic
Safety.
no holes in the floor and,
Well, I drove around.
plumbing works.
I drove around Ward 4 some today, and are several eyesores just in Ward 4. I mean, I didn't tour the whole city, but in my own ward, I drove up and down streets and whatever I intend to. I don't want to make a public issue out of anybody's personal property or whatever, but I intend to get with Victor on it and see if we can't follow up with it. A lot needs to be done. I don't know what the answer is.
I read some articles in the paper, which most of you probably read or saw the pictures, and pretty obvious there was people in danger. Live wires hanging down from ceilings, this type thing. We wish the landlords would step up and take care of these situations, but it's pretty obvious they're not doing it. It's up to the council if you want to pursue this and actually bring some pressure to bear on these folks to do what's right. There's one incident that came to my attention that I felt very relieved that we didn't have a fatality out of it. Elderly gentleman in a house, couldn't even raise the windows, frayed cords hanging down, no air conditioning, and luckily he survived. And I'm sure that's not an isolated incident. We got throughout the city.
Are there currently any laws on the books regarding this? Any laws or ordinances or?
There are no ordinances, no.
Then there's no state law? Okay.
I think, as I've been told, the only state requirement is that landlord has to furnish heat.
I believe that's true.
There's nothing that says they've got to furnish air conditioning. And the heat wave we've been going through is pretty obvious. It's a problem out there.
When you inspect them, when tenants are changed, don't some of the landlords keep the meters in their name so that they don't
Some
have
of
to?
them do.
Is that one way they can get away from it?
Get away from an inspection?
Right.
You never know that it changed hands.
Not
If the
if
meters
there
change.
was,
You see what I'm saying?
because I think
Yeah.
the thought is they would have to come to City Hall and pay a fee, and then they would inspect it, and they would have to have that inspection slip to get utilities turned on.
But what Larry's
But-
saying.
That's the
But
thought.
what Larry-
For
but what Larry's
utilities,
saying is
Yeah.
right, is
Yeah.
that in some instances, landlords do keep utilities in their name, so there's no necessity to change
Nothing to trigger an inspection.
nothing would trigger an inspection, but, I mean,
Okay.
it's, in any thing you devise, you're not gonna catch everything,
No.
but you can make it better.
Try.
We kind of hit you cold with this tonight, but I propose we broach the subject, think about it, and let's defer it to the next meeting, and come back with your thoughts in mind as to how you'd like to proceed with it.
Maybe Victor, here to answer
Yes.
questions too.
That would be a good idea.
All right, sir, also in your package, you have abstracts from both CLGW and the city for your approval.
On,
To
Approve.
approve the abstracts.
I'm going for something else.
Do we need to do them singularly?
Should.
I move we approve the Board of Public Works.
Motion second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion that we approve city abstracts.
Motion,
Second.
any second? Discussion? Correction? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have one more item, Mr. Mayor, before you move on. This is the part where I asked for some more money.
We can skip that part.
$5 is okay.
We've got a bid on the building for the, street department. And, I'd like to make a motion that we accept this bid,
Yes.
what's the total, it's 20,000, yeah. 20,000, yeah. Yeah, $20,287. Our, in the budget, we had, 24,000, so we're a little bit, less than $4,000 under budget, but it is a all-steel structure that
What size?
32 by 45, 10 foot tall. And we'd like to get approval on this so that we can get started with this project. It is a budgeted item. So I'm gonna make that motion that we approve the expenditure of $20,287 on the new building.
Have a motion on the floor?
Second.
Have a second? Any further discussion? This is a budget item.
Yes, sir.
It is budgeted. We're not gonna outrun our income from the capital improvement.
Double
We
check
won't
on
be
that.
ready for this until when you just say like.
Said it'd be 8 weeks before it'd be delivered, another 2 weeks to put it up or something.
So 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
You know, I mean, that's not locked in the firm, but
Will they want hard up front, do you think?
Can we follow up on that, make sure?
We probably got that.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I need the second on that.
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Second.
You don't have to ask.
It's either first or second.
Mr. Second. We don't really have much to report, you don't already know about, it's been hot, been a busy time for most folks. So we'll move into public comments, no one like to address the council. Mr. Chairman, Wayne?
Welcome, Mr. Freeman. I hope that doesn't take long, but you know, St. Francis Street is a huge issue. I got approached whenever people found out that I was running for that spot there, especially a husband and wife couple in a wheelchair. They live behind Potts Conoco down that way in Ward 4, and in order for them to get groceries safely, they have to take the sidewalks to Walmart. With a motorized wheelchair, sometimes they have to end up having to charge it while they're there. Town and Country is so much closer, and it's happens to be in Ward 1. So it'd be nice to be able to let them shop closer to where they live. The other aspect, I haven't heard anything about a committee meeting. When's the street committee? A lot of us, all business owners up down there would like to know when we're gonna meet. Is there any planned dates?
The fourth, is it the fourth Tuesday of this month, we will have a street department meeting.
Okay.
And as far as the St. Francis Street Committee, my guess is you will be hearing from that the next city council meeting, about when we're gonna get together on that. And it's not just sitting. We're still looking for funding, different ways of funding. Actually had a meeting this morning on it about funding, trying to tie in some other projects with it, Third Street project, other projects that have to do with the city in general. And so there's nothing just sitting, but we have to figure out the money into it still. But that's still gonna be part of what that committee's about. And so I'm gonna leave the rest of that to the chairman, the co-chairman of that committee. But we will have a street department meeting on the fourth Tuesday this month.
Okay. Since this has to do a lot with Wards 1 and Wards 4, hope you guys can make the meeting, because it's, one of these days, one of his police officers' cars is gonna end up in my front lobby.
Yeah,
And I really hope not, hope that doesn't happen.
It's a big to-do. We still
Yeah,
got a lot of work to do.
it's a, I mean, you know, a couple $1 million, and we know that, but it's, needs to be done. The other aspect, with listening to the things that are going on with the landlord and the renters situation, if you do you need to have little checks and balances. I know from back when my grandmother had rental property, you know, evicting somebody is a 6-month process. So that's 6 months worth of income you're not gonna make off that piece of property. So if you put some more restrictions, what there do need to be, there are truly slums that are being rented out. But if you put those restrictions and have them brought up to code, make it easier for them to evict somebody and put somebody in there that's gonna pay the rent. Because whenever, if you follow all the proper channels, it's gonna take you 6 months to get somebody out of your house. And so, I mean, with, you know, rent at, $400 a month, that's quite a chunk of change if you're only got, 1 or 2 pieces of rental property. I mean, that's a big chunk of your income. So look at, checks and balances. Yes, properties do need to be inspected on a lot of those, some of them, but you need to find an easier way to get people out when they don't pay rent. So, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to address the council? We need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second. Second. All in favor, say aye. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
The first one.